All right, we're 4 weeks late, but we're finally doing this. Greeting, folks. This is Volt, finally continuing on the Mythos Busters campaign play-along of the Circle Undone, playing true solo Arkham Horror with our prologue investigator, Gavriella Misra. The play-along is all the way up into Scenario 6 of the Circle Undone, which I think ends in a couple of days. So I think the time is right for me finally to get into Scenario 3, the secret name, and hopefully a double feature here with Scenario 4, the wages of sin. But let's take this one thing at a time, shall we? I swear I haven't been stalling to get into the secret name. It's just been a heck of a month, non-Arkham related reasons. But there is one particular issue about the secret name I need to talk about before we go into it. And it's probably not what you might be thinking, but just as a quick recap here. Gavriella Misra, I'm playing as one of the prologue investigators made truly manifest for this campaign play-along. As a refresher, Fight 4, Willpower 3, Book 2, Foot 1. After an enemy attacks me, even if cancelled, I discover a clue at your location, limit once per round. 8 health, 4 sanity. That ability to pick up a clue when an enemy attacks is my primary means of getting clues, and I have a deck built around leveraging that to the best of my ability. However, 29, oh, I know why. However, this scenario poses a particular issue, and it's not Brown Jenkin, it's not even Nahab. It is this location, Keziah's room. So, Keziah's room, after you complete the first act of the scenario, you're going to be stuck here. And the goal then is to get more locations into play by using its reaction ability. After you successfully investigate Keziah's room, instead of discovering clues, put the top card of the Unknown Places deck into play unrevealed, then you may move to that location. And Haunted, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a hex card is discarded, draw that card. That's what hits you if you investigate and fail. This is Shroud 3. We are Book 2. Sure, if we have Alice Luxley in play, we'll have +1 intellect, and Alice Luxley is in my deck. Sure, with the Black Book, which we will get at that point, although I'll have more to say on that when the time is right. That also boosts your book by 1. But testing 4 against 3 base is not, I have found in testing, to be the right way to go about doing this, especially given that, frankly, really horrific haunting effect if all those hex cards get stacked up in my threat area, as the Circle Undone is wont to do. But I also can't use Gavriella's ability to cheese this. So, what do I do? Well, I have an idea, and we're going to see how it goes. I have 7 victory points going into this scenario, 7 XP to spend, and I'm spending 6 of it. And I talked about a whole bunch of upgrades I would like to get back when I completed the second scenario. Throw all of that out the window. We are going to leverage Gavriella's card pool, which is Guardian up to level 3 and Survivor up to level 3, as well as Neutral to level 5. And I am hopeful that the answer to our problem is Trial by Fire level 3. A card I don't know that I've ever played. But hey, it came with Return to the Circle Undone, so we're going to use it. As a refresher, if you're looking at that and thinking, what does this do again? Fast event, play only during your turn, cost 2. Until the end of your turn, set the base value of each of your skills to 5, or the base value of one of your skills to 7. You never really know what you're capable of until something is trying to eat you. The idea is to be in Keziah's room with Trial by Fire in hand and have a turn available where I can play it and then slam 3 investigates on this room with a base book of 7. Because when you successfully investigate, you put a location into play. You may move to that location, but it's an option. You don't have to. There will be a deck of, I think, 7 locations to chew through. And the ultimate goal for advancing is going to be in the bottom 4. So I'm going to need to accomplish this at least twice, which is why I'm taking 2 copies of the card. I'm guardedly hopeful that this, while being taken now as tech specifically for this location, will still be helpful going forward. For one thing, when we finally get to Union and Dissolution, this may be my best means of dealing with particularly nasty circle tests. What am I taking out? My 2 copies of Glory. Draw is good. I'm not going to deny that. But the book icons are the least useful thing in the deck. And frankly, the 1 resource spend, I don't think I have played Glory yet in either of the first 2 scenarios. And there's other cards I can take to help with draw later on. I also have a particular draw engine that will see how it treats me during this scenario that has already been of help going forward. So this is what we're going to attempt. Let's get rid of this. Let's put our 2 copies of Trial by Fire into the deck. Come on. There we go. Shuffle that up. Get rid of these. Also, as a refresher, you're seeing 31 cards because the Prologue Investigators do not have a investigator-specific weakness or signature card. It's just standard, just simple 30 cards, 1 random basic weakness, which for Gavriella is Haunted. All right. Oh, right, the tarot card. The tarot card for this scenario is Reversed Wheel of Fortune. So, once each agenda, the first time anyone reveals an Elder Sign, cancel it, treat it as a -5 instead. In order to not forget that, because I sure will, I've taken the Elder Sign out of the bag, and I put in, of all things, a Frost. And I've set it as being a -5. I've done that because a Frost token is a weird enough thing to pull to remind me, oh, right, this is a -5, then take it out, seal it on the agenda, put the Elder Sign in, and then when the agenda advances, take the Elder Sign out and put the Frost token back in. And this is my jury-rigged solution for manifesting this hateful, hateful card. So, that is that. Let's get right into it. Let's click the Setup Helper, which randomizes everything. We start, excuse me, in the Moldy Halls. Let's take a look at our opening hand, and let's see how badly this is going to go. All right, what do we got? Alice Luxley is good to see at the start. Flesh Wards, Guts, and Steadfast. I don't need 2 Flesh Wards. I mean, I can play 2 Flesh Wards, but having just 1 is probably good. Let's keep Alice and a Flesh Ward. Put the rest back. See what else we get. Well, we've got a dog and all the whiskey the average security guard can drink. What we don't have is a weapon. But we'll see. We'll try to make do. What we also don't have is any money. Which is also a bit awkward. Well, let's find out. We are in the Moldy Halls. 4 Shroud, 1 Clue. Haunted effect is lose 3 resources. And we have a Doom track of 4. All non-weakness enemies get +1 health. After you defeat Brown, Jenkin, or Nahab, surely those are never going to show up. When would Nahab show up during Agenda 1? That's something I'd really love to know. You gain a clue from the token bank. 4 Doom to advance. Act 1, investigating the Witch House. The goal is to spend 3 clues while in Walter Gilman's room. And Walter Gilman's room, you also have to spend 1 clue to get in. So really, I need a total of 4. All right. Let's see what happened. Where do we begin? I could play... Get Alice out. If I get Alice out and get... I could play Flesh Ward, take a resource and play Guard Dog, but then Alice is waiting play. I could play Alice, draw a card, take a resource. Then I'll have 3 to start next turn, and I could play Guard Dog, and then I've got at least my teammates to help. So let's draw a card first. The Mauser Tankaver. Well, this is my big weapon, but I don't want to play it until Act 2. When I advance Act 1, I'm going to be given the black book. I can't not take it, and it takes up a hand slot. So if I play the Mauser before that happens, the black book will bounce it into my discard. So I don't mind seeing it, but I'm not going to play it. Also, I do have cards in here that are worth resources. Honest, I really do. Let's play Alice Luxley. +1 book, 2 health, 2 sanity. After you discover a clue, you can exhaust her to deal a damage to an enemy at your location. And then we're going to take a resource. All right, there are no enemies. We'll upkeep into Alice Luxley's twin sister, Alice Luxley. We're spoiled for assets and a whole bunch of not much ways to play it. Fine. Mythos, we're at 1 of 4 doom. Let's make sure that's shuffled. What do we... let's move this. There we go. All right, what's our card? Brown Jenkins top decked. This is a little awkward because I would like to leverage Brown Jenkins' mill effect, but not to lose the Mauser. But maybe we can make this work. Brown Jenkins, fight 1, but actually fight 3 while he's ready, since he is a creature and boosts himself. 1 health +1 from the agenda, so 2 health, evade 4, aloof and hunter. When the enemy phase ends, if he's ready, then everyone at his location discards their hand and draws that many cards. If he's ready, so if he's instead engaged with me and didn't attack, he'll exhaust on the attack, and then the mill effect would not happen. Okay, that's hilarious. So if I play Guard Dog, then engage Brown Jenkins, and then move, Brown Jenkins will take an attack of opportunity. He'll do a damage and a horror. I'll get this clue with Gavriella. I'll do a damage to Brown Jenkins using Alice, and I can do a damage to Brown Jenkins using the Guard Dog, which will defeat him, and then I'll get another clue. I think that's the play. First action, Guard Dog. Second action, engage Brown Jenkins. Third action, move. Triggers an attack of opportunity from Brown Jenkins. We'll take a damage on the Guard Dog and a horror on Alice Luxley. Guard Dog does a damage to Brown Jenkins. I use Gavriella's ability to get this clue from the Moldy Halls. I exhaust Alex to deal damage to Brown Jenkins, and he is defeated, and I get another clue from the ability on the agenda. And right, we were moving from all that. Oh my goodness, what is happening here? Yeah, what do we got? What's over here? Joe Mazaritz's room. I'm butchering that pronunciation. 3 shroud, 1 clue. Haunted, you must either take a horror or choose and discard an asset you control. Can, once per game, spend an action to search my deck for a blessed or item asset and add it to my hand. Which I probably will want to do. It might be my trench armor. It could also be Hallowed Mirror. Let's see what I draw, and let's see what the game throws at me. No enemies on the board. We upkeep into Guts. Well, at least it's not another asset I can't yet play. 2 of 4 doom. Our encounter card is Evil Past. So this goes into my threat area. It does nothing until the encounter deck runs out, at which time I take 2 horror, which is spooky, with Gavriella's Force Sanity, and then test Willpower 3, and if I succeed, discard Evil Past. All right. Not an immediate issue. I could, let's see. I could take a resource. I could use the ability on the location to pull a card that I want, an item or blessed card, and then if it costs 2, I could play it. Let's think through. Let's use the ability on the location and see what our options are. Item or blessed. Not flesh ward, that's a ritual. I could get a machete or an enchanted blade. Hollowed mirror costs 2, so that is a workable option. Trench armor also costs 2. And is my, cancels attacks of opportunity. That probably is more important. Aldmir is very good, don't get me wrong, especially with Guard Dog out. I can use the Soothing Melody to convert that into more uses of the Guard Dog's oomph. But the Trench Armor is unique in what it can offer me, so I'm going to take that of the deck. I'm going to take a resource, and we're going to play the Trench Armor. Because it cancels the first attack of opportunity made each round, but Gavriella's ability gets a clue even if the attack was canceled. That's synergy. All right, there are no enemies. We upkeep into Act of Desperation. I have a plan for this card. There's not time for it yet. Okay. Fine. Mythos. We're 3 of 4 doom. What do we get? Hold by the stars. Goes my threat area. At the end of my turn, if I didn't move at least once, I take 2 horror. Spend an action and test willpower 3 to try to discard it. The exhausted witch enemy text is almost blank, since there's exactly 1 witch in this scenario, and she doesn't show up till Agenda 3. All right. So, I can't just sit around clicking for resources all day. And I'm not sure. The ideal time to get rid of this is after I have the black book, because it boosts my willpower by 1. Then I can reasonably throw a guts at the test or some Tennessee sour mash. So I think we're going to move just so that it's not hecking up our day. Let's think this through. Because we don't need this clue. I need 4 clues to advance. There's 1 clue in each of these locations. Well, 1 clue to get in here and then 3 to advance. So I could leave this clue be and check out another location. One of these will spawn a swarm of rats, which frankly I'm okay with. Though they are going to get beefed in a moment, aren't they? That's fine. Question mark. And also Brown Jenkin is going to show up, which is also a bit awkward. Yeah, we're going to move twice into another room. Well, hold on. If I wait where I am, Brown Jenkin is going to spawn when the agenda advances, and I think he spawns with me. I could engage him, move, use the ability to get the clue. Move again. No, that'll be a lot of damage and horror. And if I don't move, then I am going to get ganked by Pulled by the Stars. No, I am going to move twice. 1, 2. What do we got? Frank Elwood's room. 3 shroud, 1 clue. Haunted effect. You must either place one of your clues here or put a doom on the agenda. I was kind of hoping for the landlord's room to spawn some rats. All right. I might wait here so that Brown Jenkin can spawn here. Then if I move to the other location next turn, rats will spawn here. The rats will move in and attack. That'll get me that clue. Then, let's see. They'll have 3 health. I'm still going to get the Mauser wield. That's the thing that bothers me. We're going to take a resource so that we can play one of these 3 cost things. Let's see what comes up next. We got no enemies on the board. Pulled by the stars doesn't fire because we moved. We upkeep into a dodge. Okay. Mythos. We're at 4. This advances. All right. Brown Jenkin spawns at my location. There are not 3 or 4 investigators in the game. And then we move on to Agenda 6. All enemies now have, non-weakness enemies now have +2 health. Okay. All right. Sure. Mythos card. What do we get? Oomph. That hurts. Shapes in the Mist. Surge, resolve the haunted ability. And the haunted ability is drop a clue here or put a doom in the agenda. And that's not what you want to see. Brown Dragon has 3 health. If I engage him, move, and move again, then I can defeat him by spending my entire guard dog. No. 1 damage, 2. No, not quite. Well, in the enemy phase, he'll get defeated. Which would give me enough clues if I don't put the do in the agenda. But if I drop a clue, then I'll be back down to 2. I think losing a whole round? No, I'll drop the clue. And try to use my time to do something else productive with my life. But that surges into Sentries of Secrets. Willpower 5. For each point you fail by, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If a curse is discarded, deal 1 direct damage to your investigator and each of your ally assets. Well, that's annoying. Do I throw a guts at this? Change. Move. Do a thing. Yes, I'm gonna throw. Nah, it's probably better to use it on this where I'll actually get a draw out of it. No, we'll just take this 3 on 5. We're 2 down. Wouldn't have mattered. First token pull of the game, and it's an auto fail. That bodes well. So let's discard 5. That's curse. So we get hit. 3, 4, 5. Oh boy. All right. Damage. 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 Great. Not going great. I don't want him to wheel this problem. So, we're going to spend an action to engage him. We are going to move back to the center. The trench armor cancels the attack of opportunity. We use Gavriella to get a clue. We use Alice to deal him a damage. And then And then we will play... I think we'll play Flesh Ward. Now he attacks again, does a damage and a horror. I can't kill him because Guard Dog is too badly hurt. Do I punch him? Do I punch him and commit Act of Desperation? That might be the play. Because he's currently fight 3. Yeah. We're going to punch him and commit this Act of Desperation. So we're testing 6 on 3. -3. So we pass exactly and deal a damage. There we go. Enemy phase, he attacks for damage and a horror. That defeats Guard Dog, but also defeats him, so I get another clue. Okay. Upkeep. And I've had worse. Yeah, well, have I? I'm not sure I have. We're at 1 of 6 doom. What do we get? Extra dimensional visions. There's willpower 2, +1 difficulty for every 10 cards in the discard file. If you fail, discard an asset you control. Well, that's a kick in the face. How big is this discard? 8. All right, so it's just willpower 2. I'm testing 3 on 2. I am going to guts this, so we're 5 on 2. Didn't need it, but we draw a card, and it's on the hunt. That's good to see. On the hunt level 3, to be specific. Okay. Problem is, I still need one more clue to advance. All right, we're back. Don't know what we're going to do, but we're back. Again, I want to play this after advancing the act. I need one more clue. There will be a clue in in Walter Gilman's room. Whoa. Don't know why. Don't know what happened there. I know what happened. I hit the wrong key. So maybe I move there. Prepare somehow, question mark. Too bad I can't play any. And then getting on the hunt. If I don't move, I could eat the 2 horror, but I've had worse it and turn it into 2 resources. That doesn't sound like the best use of my time, but I suppose it's a thing I could do. I could click twice for resources, play either Flesh Ward or the Tennessee Sour Mash. I've had worse the 2 horror to get 2 more resources. Then play on the hunt next turn to grab a rat. I need to move in, cancel that attack of opportunity, do something else which will trigger an attack. I'm gonna have 3 health. I also deal at 1 damage. Then punch it twice. Yeah, this is a really dumb idea, and that's exactly why we're going to do it. All right, we're going to click twice for resources, and then we're going to play. Do I want this? I want this. I think, actually, I want the Tennessee Sour Mash, because I'm going to need it to help get rid of this. Now this hits me, because I didn't move, for 2 horror. I'll play I've Had Worse to cancel it and get 2 resources. Okay. There are no enemies on the board. We upkeep into replacement guard dog. That's pretty good. Mythos. We're at 2 of 6 doom. I'm going to play on the hunt. We're going to grab some rats. The last rats. Guess they got discarded. And spawn engage with me. Attach on the hunt to it. When I defeat them, I'll gain 3 resources. The rats are fight 1, health 3 because of the agenda. No, health, yes, health 3, evade 3. All right, let's deal with this. We're going to move. The trench armor cancels their attack of opportunity. We're going to move into Walter Gilman's room. We will spend a clue. Shroud 4, 1 clue. You can spend an action here to draw 3 cards and take a horror. Limit once per game. I don't think I'm going to do that. Haunted effect, discard the top 2 cards of the encounter deck. We're now going to do, let's see. Got 3 health. You know what we're going to do? We're going to play guard dog. Yes? Yeah, we're going to play guard dog. So the rats attack again, does a damage. That'll go on my trench armor. We'll use Gavriella's ability. We'll get this clue. We'll use Alice to do a damage back to the rats. And then the guard dog comes into play. Now, we have 3 clues. So I am going to spend them to advance the act. We swap Walter Gilman's room with Keziah's room, taking its place. All other locations are removed in the game. And I take control of the Black Book, and the Strange Geometry cards get shuffled into the encounter deck. So, Black Book, Strange Geometry, Keziah's room. Strange Geometry shuffles into the deck. Black Book comes into my play area. I have +1 book and brain, at least temporarily. Never going to be using its ability to play something and take horror to reduce the cost, not with the horror reserve that Gavriella's got. And now let's clean up the map and put Keziah's room there. So all of this, what am I doing? All of this comes out of play. Let's put Keziah's, what? There, don't ask me. All right, Keziah's room. 3 shroud, no clues. This is the one I was talking about. Got to successfully investigate here to put locations into play. Brown Jenkin, please show back up. All right. I have 1 more action. And I'm going to punch some rats. We're testing 4-on-1. 0's a pass, we do a damage. Enemy phase. Rats attack. They do a damage. I'll put on guard dog. Guard dog does a damage back. The rats are defeated. So I get 3 resources from On the Hunt. Okay. Are we stabilized? Not remotely. Okay. Upkeep. What do we get? Steadfast. Which is 3 brains or 3 fists. All right. Fine. Mythos, we're at 3 of 6 doom. Our encounter card is Disquieting Dreams. Is willpower 3. If you fail, put it into play in your threat area. At the end of your turn, discard the top card of the encounter deck. When the encounter deck runs out of cards, discard this, reveal the top 10 cards of my deck, draw any weaknesses revealed, and discard everything else. I'm wondering if it's meaningful. Do I throw Steadfast at this? 7 on 5. I would pass on this much of the bag. So just over half. That seems not unreasonable. What do the squids do if you fail? Resolve the hunter keyword in each enemy in play. Well, there are no enemies in play. Yeah, you know what? We're going to steadfast this. We have 3 boost 3 since we do have 11 remaining total health and sanity. 7 on 5. Goes -1. This is not an extra dimensional location. The places you get to from here are, but that's not. So, we pass. All right. Okay, now, some setup. First, we're going to try to test off Pulled by the Stars. We're going to exhaust the Tennessee Sour Mash and spend a supply to get +2 brain. So we're 6 on 3. Spells -1. Go away, treachery. Now, I could play the Mauser and just yeet the Black Book into space. What I'd love to do is get an Act of Desperation. I do have a second one in the deck. To actually yeet the Black Book for fun and profit and get 3 resources out of the deal. I don't know if that is feasible or reasonable. What I do know is that I need some cards. So, but I also want Flesh Ward. And I would not mind getting another one of these in play. No, okay, we're going to play Flesh Ward. 4 charges that I can exhaust Flesh Ward, spend a charge to cancel 1 damage or horror dealt from an attack. It also has 1 and 1 soak. And I could take a resource so that next turn I could play second Tennessee Sour Mash. They are slotless, so I can have both of them in play. But on the other hand, I do need Trial by Fire. It hasn't shown up yet, which I'm fine about, but now's the time I need to start finding it, so I'm going to draw a card. The Hollowed Mirror. That is, I much prefer to play. Okay, fine. No enemies. We upkeep into a Take Heart. Okay. We're at 4 of 6 Doom. We are moving slowly, but let's see if we can pick up the pace. Let's find out. Encounter card, Bedeviled. Goes in the threat area. Can't trigger action abilities on cards I control. Action test willpower 3. If you succeed, discard it. Okay. Okay. So we're still in. We got to get rid of that. So we're going to attempt to test a Bedeviled. We're going to exhaust the Tennessee Sour Mash. It's not an action ability. It's a lightning bolt. So again, we're testing 6 on 3. -1 is a pass. That goes away. We're going to play Hollowed Mirror to get a Soothing Melody in hand and 2 in the deck. And then we're going to play Soothing Melody to heal a damage from Alice Luxley and a damage from Guard Dog and draw a card. And we're haunted. Why wouldn't we be? All right, no enemies on the board. We upkeep into an Act of Desperation. Now I just need Brown Jenkins to show back up so I can throw the Black Book at his face. Sure. Mythos. 5 of 6 Doom. This is, Encounter card, Strange Geometry. There's a problem. Put this into play and move to it. 4 Shroud, 1 Clue. After the investigation phase ends, discard it. Move everyone here to the location with the most clues. And anyone moved by this effect takes a damage and a horror. If it has no clues on it, move to any revealed location. I think we're eating this damage and horror. Because I'm spending this turn. Is it haunted? It does not have a haunted effect. Do I think what I do is spend 2 actions to get rid of haunted. And I think my last action is try to investigate and commit Take Heart. And you know what? If it summons the 0 or the +1, I'll take it. Do I commit other Alice Luxley? Is it extra dimensional? It is. So the skulls are -3. So, nah, it's probably better. No, it's probably better to keep her. No. All right. So we'll try to investigate. We'll commit Take Heart. We're testing 4 on 4. If I committed her, we would have passed. But as it is, we get 2 cards and 2 resources. Enchanted Blade and Guts. Trials by Fire, not showing up. All right. Investigation phase ends. This discards. I get moved back to Keziah's room and take a damage and a horror. Which I'll put the damage on the trench armor and I have to take the horror. Then this discards. Okay. Upkeep. Another Flesh Ward. Mythos. We advance. Not going well. It's Act 2. So, Nahab spawns here. Ghostly Presence is shuffling encounter deck. Brown Jenkin also spawns here. It's a party. And I'll just cry. How about that? Ghostly Presences go in here. And let's pull Brown Jenkin out of the pile. All right. So Brown Jenkin is here. Nahab engages me. Nahab. Nahab is... She is 1 plus X fight, where X is the agenda, which is now 3. So she's fight 4. And with the agenda, she's also health 4, like Brown Jenkin is health 4. She's not a creature, so Brown Jenkin doesn't further boost her. As the enemy phase begins, if she's ready, put a doom on her. Does a damage and 2 horror. All right. Perfect. What's our mythos? What's our encounter card? Nothing good. Strange geometry. You know what? That might be fine. Because with Nahab's help, we can get that clue. All right, let's think this through. Now is the time to yeet the black book into her face. With which I will be testing 7 on 4. That would do 2 damage. Then if I do a thing, can Alice... and then I could play the Mauser. Yes. All right. So we're going to play Act of Desperation. We're going to discard an item asset that takes up at least 1 hand slot from my hand or play area. And it's going to be the Black Book. So I'm going to lose the boosted Book and Brain. Plus X Fist, where so it's its cost, so +3. And I'll deal 2 damage. And if I succeed, I'll gain 3 resources because the Black Book was in my play area. It won't get discarded. It'll get removed from the game. But because it's not actually part of my deck, but that's fine. 7 against 4. +1. So we do 2 damage. We get 3 resources. The Black Book is yeeted out of existence. Okay. Second action. We're going to play the Mauser. Nahab attacks. The trench armor cancels it. With Gavriella's ability, we get this clue. We exhaust Alex to do a damage to Nahab. And 4 resources to play the Mauser. Make this a bullet. Okay. One more action. I think I want to play either the second Flesh Ward or the second Tennessee Sour Mash. I guess it probably should be the Sour Mash since the one I have is empty. Yeah. The horror's a bit spooky, but I have Soothing Melodies. And my good friend Brown Jenkins is going to help me find them. Yeah, I think... Or do I play the other Flesh Ward? If I play the other Flesh Ward, I can block both of the horror from her attack. No. Whoops. No, I think my impulse is right. We're going to play second Tennessee Sour Mash. So Nab attacks again. We'll do a damage to the guard dog and do 2 horror. No, we'll exhaust Flesh Ward to cancel 1, do 1 horror, Gavriella. Guard dog does a damage back, 4 damage, she's defeated, and we get a clue for our troubles. Tennessee Sour Mash comes into play. And then we use this ability to scoot back to Keziah's room so that when this discards, we don't get yanked again. Now the enemy phase. Now Brown Jenkins wheels our hand. So we discard 5 and draw 5. There's Trial by Fire, along with all my machetes and a dodge and a take heart. Okay. We upkeep into Soothing Melody. Good. Mythos. 1 of 8 Doom. Okay. Can we do this? Fate of All Fools. Well, at least this doesn't do anything immediate. It just goes into my threat area. Then if I draw more of them later, I have to take either direct damage or eat Doom. You know what? That's fine. Okay, now. I could Trial by Fire and slam out 3 Investigates. If I do that, Brown Jenkins is going to follow me into the 3rd one and wheel my hand again. I don't like losing the Soothing Melody, but there's a 3rd one. And more importantly, what will come out of there is my other Trial by Fire. I also don't have a second resource. Okay. So instead, maybe we yeet Brown Jenkins out of a cannon. Maybe we yeet Brown Jenkins out of a cannon. Which will take all turn, because I will want to ready it. But you know what? That feels like a turn well spent. All right, we're going to spend an action. Come back. Engage Brown Jenkins. We're going to attack with the Mauser. So we're swinging 10 against 3. And we'll do 4 damage. We pass by a bunch. Brown Jenkins is defeated. And we get another clue. And then we spend an action to exhaust and replenish the shell of the Mauser. Okay. All right. No enemies on the board. We upkeep into another Soothing Melody. Fine. And those 2 of 8 Doom. Sentries of Secrets. Willpower 5. Each point you fail by, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If a curse is discarded, deal the direct damage to my investigator and each of my ally assets. I think we're gonna take heart this. Yeah, 3 on 5. We fail by 3. So we discard not a curse, not a curse, not a curse. We're lucked out. And we draw 2 cards and get 2 resources. There's my second trial by fire. Okay. All right, now's the time. I'm thinking about the fact that I have 2 cards left in my deck. So whatever is in my hand will miss the reshuffle. If I trial by fire now, 3, I'll draw 1. Next turn, I won't be in place to use... Oh, the Soothing Melodies come back to the center, then trial... Okay, yeah, we're going to trial by fire. All right. Betting 2 to play this. We're going to set my book to 7. So because of Alice Luxley, it's at 8. And now, we're going to finally investigate 3 times at Keziah's room. Let's bring these down here. All right. 8 on 3. We needed it. We were up by 5, so we pass. So that puts a location in play, but I'm not going to move there. Instead, I'm going to investigate again. 8 on 3. Pass again. Second location. And we're going to investigate again. 8 on 3. Goes -1. We put a third location into play. I'm contemplating whether to move to it. Take the free move. Whatever is there, I'll have to deal with. What's in here? And specifically, how many meddlesome... There are no meddlesome familiars in the discard. There's a good chance my good buddy will come back. If I take the free move and it's something I can deal with, what would that look like? I need an enemy. Then I need to move back to the center. Well, I could always... No, the Soothing Melodies draw a card. So then that will miss the reshuffle, won't it? That's what I was thinking about. I mean, I think the Soothing Melodies are just going to miss the reshuffle. Let's just note what I need to do. I need 5 clues at the Witch House Ruins. The Witch House Ruins is one of these locations. It's not one of these 3. It's one of these bottom 4. But I do need more clues. Yes, I will take the free move. What is here? Salem Jail 1692. 3 shroud, 1 clue. You can spend an action and test book 3, and if you succeed, move to any revealed location, limit once per game. Not very helpful. Haunted, move to Keziah's room. Maybe the least helpful of the locations. It doesn't even have a victory point on it. Oh well, it is what it is. No enemies on the board. We upkeep into an emergency cache. Yeah, those are in the deck, believe it or not. These are my last 2 cards. Emergency cache. Oh my goodness. All right. Mythos, we're at 3 of 8. Doom. Realm of Torment. When your turn begins, resolve each haunted ability in your location. When your turn ends, test willpower 3. If you succeed, discard it. That's hilarious. Because the haunted ability here is move to Keziah's room, and that's kind of what I wanted to do anyway. Because I don't like this place. Alright, fine. I don't want that to stick around. but I've got some alcohol to help me with it, but fine. Also, this is back down to 3. Wow, that's funny. Okay. I mean, I'm here. I might as well trial by fire again, right? Yeah. Let's do it while we have an opportunity. Ben 2, trial by fire. Once again, book is up to 8. Let's investigate. 8, no, 8 on 3. We pass by an enormous amount. Not moving there yet. Do it again, 8 on 3. We still pass by plenty. Put that into play. Do it again, 8 on 3. We pass by a ton. And this one will move to. What is it? Physics classroom. 4 shroud, 1 clue, victory 1. After you successfully investigated by 2 or more, discover a clue at another revealed location. Well, that's happening. Sure. Now, this one is not yet in play, so I'm going to stick that over here so that there's no confusion. Okay. All right. Now, I test this. So I'm going to commit dodge. And I'm going to use my Tennessee Sour Mash. So we're testing 6 on 3. There is a pass. This goes away. Okay. Fine. Whoops. That back where it belongs. No enemies on the board. We upkeep in 2. Second D-cache. Why not have your emergency caches as the 30th and 31st cards of your deck? That's Arkham Horror, the living card game. 4 of 8 Doom. Well, we got a bunch of locations in play. Now we need some clues and stuff to do with them. What do we get? My buddy! That's actually fine. Mr. Jenkin, you are... Well, you're not engaged with me, but you are my means of getting clues. And I take a damage, which Gavriella will take. Okay. Okay. I need to play Soothing Melodies. I need Brown Jenkin to get me this clue. I need to shoot Brown Jenkin in the face with my Mauser. Maybe I just play cards and let him wheel my hand because I don't need these swords. Well, I definitely need to Soothing Melody twice. So let's do that first. We're going to play Soothing Melody. We're going to heal 2 horror. And draw a card, which unfortunately means I take a horror. Dodge. Okay. That misses the reshuffle, which I'm not thrilled about, but that is what it is. We're going to play Soothing Melody to again heal 2 horror and draw a card. The Flesh Ward. Okay. And then I think we play an emergency cache. Yeah. Play an emergency cache. 3 resources. Okay. Brown Jenkin wheels our hand. We discard 6 and draw 6. Amazingly, we're not haunted. Second Alice Luxley, both take hearts, steadfast, on the hunt again, and our other Soothing Melody. I think on the hunt is now skip the Mythos phase because there are no enemies in the encounter deck. All the rats have been discarded. Because I think if you play on the hunt and there's no enemies in the encounter deck, just nothing happens. right? Because regular on the hunt like says what happens. Regular meaning level 0. Regular on the hunt says if you cannot spawn an enemy, then you draw the top card of the encounter deck. But this doesn't say that. So I think this is just skip the encounter draw. I'm welcome to be told otherwise, but that's what it feels like to me. Okay, fine. Right. And it's upkeep. So what is our upkeep? It is another trial by fire. Okay, Mythos. We're at 5 of 8 Doom. Yeah, I mean, we're going to play on the hunt. And we're going to search the encounter deck. Oops. For all the enemies that are not in it. Nothing. Instead, we did that instead of drawing an encounter card. So, onwards and upwards. Okay. So, we're going to spend an action to engage Brown Jenkin. I guess we move out. And then we shoot the man? Or do we keep him around? I do have defenses now. I gotta find the last location. I could trial by fire and investigate into the last location. So if I move out, I cancel his attack, but I get the clue in the physics classroom and a victory point. I could... Do I play trial by fire? It seems silly to use it for one test, but I only need it for one test. Then Brown Jenkin will hit me, but I can flesh ward. Then he'll hit me again. That extra one is not great. Well, it could go on Alice, and I do have another soothing melody. Yeah, you know what? We're going to do that. I am going to play this other trial by fire to once again bring my book back up to 8. We're going to move. Brown Jenkin attacks. We cancel with Trench Armor. We use Gavriella. We get this clue. Hey, a victory point. We use Alice to deal a damage to Brown Jenkin. And we've moved back to Keziah's room. And now we investigate. Brown Jenkin attacks for a damage and a horror. We'll put a damage on Guard Dog, so a damage goes back on him. And we exhaust Flesh Ward and spend a charge to cancel the horror. And we're investigating 8 on 3. We pass. We put this last location into play, and we move there. Court of the Great Old Ones. 3 Shroud, 2 Clues, another victory point. After you enter, test brain 3. For each point you fail by, take a horror. Well, I have Steadfast, and I have 10 total remaining, so we're testing 6 on 3. Okay, sure. Let's do that. -3. We pass exactly. That was That was fortuitous. Okay. Now Brown Jenkins attacks. So another damage and horror. Which I guess should just defeat Guard Dog, right? Yes. And Guard Dog does another damage back to him. He's at 3. He has a total of 4 health right now. So one more canceled attack and a clue got next turn. And Alice Luxley will finish him off, which is good. Okay. Fine. Thinking hard. Upkeep. Enchanted Blade. Probably not getting played. That's fine. Mythos. We are at 6 of 8 Doom. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Nahab! Ghostly Presence. If Nahab is in play, ready her, resolve her, blah, blah, blah. Site of Sacrifice. She's not. Otherwise, search the encounter deck and discard pile for Nahab and spawn her at your location. Okay. Great. She is one successful Mauser shot away from being defeated. And I think that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to try to blast her in the face. We no longer have that high book. We're down to 3. So we are testing 9 against 4. We're 5 up. Let's do this. Good thing we were 5 up. But we do 4 damage. And Nahab is defeated again. And we get another clue for our trouble. Okay. Now we will ready the Mauser, which triggers an attack of opportunity from Brown Jenkins, which the Trench Armor cancels. Gavriella uses her ability to get a clue. Do I have Alice kill him? What's the shroud here? 3. A haunted effect like locks you into having to keep investigating. I'm debating whether I want Alice to kill Brown Jenkins or if I want... But no, if he stays around, then he's going to hit me for 2 more attacks. No. We're going to use Alice. We got a clue to deal a damage to defeat Brown Jenkins, and we get another clue. And we have ready the Mauser, and we've reloaded it. So I have plenty of clues now. And where I need to be is one of these 2 locations. I just would really like this last clue to get this victory point. What is our doom? 6. I could attempt and investigate. If I commit Alice and Soothing Melody, I'd be testing 5 on 3. But the skulls are -3 here. So that's just under half. But I could also commit both Take Hearts. No, max 1 committed. I commit 1 Take Heart to at least refund myself. And the haunted effect won't matter because it's the next action you perform this round. And this is my last action in the round. Like, if I'm going to throw a cheeky investigate, try to cheat out this clue, now is the time. So I'm going to do it. We're going to investigate. We're going to commit Soothing Melody and Alice Luxley's twin sister, Alice Luxley. We are testing 5 on 3. We're also committing a Take Heart. What do we get? -3. We fail. But Take Heart triggers, so we get 2 cards and 2 resources. It was not to be. I've had worse. And guts. Okay. Fine. No enemies on the board. We upkeep into Guard Dog. We're at 7 of 8 Doom. What is our encounter card? Brown Jenkin is back. Not engage with me. And I take a damage. So I can get the clue. I engage Brown Jenkin. I move. Doing all my nonsense. And then do I shoot him? Or do I play Guard Dog, engage him, then move? Damage from Alice. Damage in the enemy phase from the Guard Dog attack. Then we're going to be in Agenda 4. And we're going to have like 4 extra Doom. And it's going to be a race against time to get to Nahab. It would be helpful to have a loaded Mauser when I arrive at Nahab, is the thing. So I might not want to unload it into Brown Jenkins' face. But I do if I've had worse. If I've had worse. Suddenly flush with so much cash, right? Okay, all right. Yeah, I think that's the play. We're going to spend 3 to play Guard Dog. We're going to engage Brown Jenkin. We're going to move. Brown Jenkin attacks. Trench Armor cancels it. Gavriella's ability gets this clue. Alice's ability deals a damage to Brown Jenkin. And we move back to Kaziah's room. Enemy phase. Brown Jenkin attacks. Damage and horror. Flesh Ward cancels the horror. Damage goes on Guard Dog, who does a damage back to Brown Jenkin. That's fine. Okay. Right? I think so, yes. Okay. Upkeep. It's touch and go. We had a really difficult start, but we're doing our best. We upkeep into Act of Desperation. I mean, if I have to yeet my unloaded Mauser into Nahab's face, I'm prepared to do it. This advances. It is Act 2. So Nahab gets set aside out of play, and we put 4 Doom on the agenda as it comes into play. Our chances of succeeding at the whole scenario are significantly reduced, but it's not impossible. Now weakness enemies now get +4 health. So Brown Jenkin has 5 health. Right. What's our encounter card? Racked. -1 to each of my skills during the first skill test I perform each round. Spend an action, test brain 3 to discard it. Okay. Okay. Fine. I'm probably not taking any tests this round. I need to find Nahab's location. So we're going to move. Brown Jenkin attacks, Trench Armor cancels it. Let's move here. Moldy Halls. 2 Shroud, no clues. And spend an action to request aid from my past self. And return a card from my discard pile to my hand. I am sorely tempted to take on the hunt so that I can skip the encounter card draw a second time. It does take an action. I'm essentially spending a testless action now to proactively deal with what the Mythos would throw at me next turn. If I do that, and then I move back, and Brown Jenkins is hitting me all the time, and that's fine. This is what I need. Next turn, I move in there. It'll be Doom 5. Go in Nahab. Move in there. I think Brown Jenkins moves into there with her. Move. Move. Advance. Do I advance? Not sure I have the time for the action. Otherwise, I could move twice. I want to be able to move into the site of sacrifice where Nahab is. Like, immediately shoot her with the Mauser and then reload. Which does require a full turn. I don't think I have time. I don't think I have time to grab on the hunt. I think I need to eat whatever's coming up. I think I need to eat whatever's coming up. So we're just going to move again. Brown Jenkins attacks. Damage and horror. We'll put damage on guard dog. Damage back on him. We'll use flesh ward to cancel the horror. Back to the center. They're going to move a third time. Brown Jenkins attacks. Does a damage and a horror, which will discard this flesh ward. Over to here. The ruins of the witch house. Yep. Witch house ruins. 2 shrouds, 0 clues. What is happening? There we go. You can spend an action to investigate, and if you succeed, heal 2 horror instead of discovering clues. Haunted lose an action. And this is where we can spend clues to advance, but we're not doing it yet. Not doing it yet. All right, okay. Sorry, this is tense. Also, just for the look of things, I'm going to move this over here so that we can put site of sacrifice in this last spot. Okay. 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 Got this. I don't know how, but we got this. All right. Enemy phase. Brown Jenkins attacks. Damage and horror. I've had worse this. Yeah. We get 2 resources out of the deal. Okay. We upkeep into trial by fire. Could be important. Mythos. 5 of 8 doom. Am I going to regret? Hair in the night. I don't think I regret. It has brain 4. If you fail, put this in play next to the agenda deck. If you fail by 3 or more, gain surge. What I want is for it to not gain surge. So I think I'm going to commit guts to this. Also, Brown Jenkins is not wheeling my hand because he's attacking in the enemy phase, which means he exhausts. So then when the enemy phase ends, he's not ready. So the wheel doesn't happen. Now I am racked. That's a thing that is happening. So I'm testing 2 on 4. I think I guts and sour mash. 6 on 4. Can be fight 5. We can get. Yeah, no, I think so. I don't want this to surge. So we're going to commit guts. So we're testing 4 on 4. And we're going to use the sour mash, so we're testing 6 on 4. Do I throw in Take Heart? This location is extra dimensional, so the skulls are -3. So better than even chance of failing. Yes, I'm going to throw Take Heart in as well. Oh boy, 6 on 4. -3, because we're at an extra dimensional. So we do fail, but we only fail by 1. So this goes next to the agenda, but does not surge. And because of Take Heart, I draw 2 cards and get 2 resources. It suddenly occurs to me, one of these is haunted. So that's a thing. All right. We are advancing the act. We're spending 5 clues. We're where we need to be. What a scenario. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We still have 3. So now what happens? Nothing good. Put a site of sacrifice into play. Put Nahab there. Move all the doom from the agenda to her. And put Brown Jenkin there. At least he stays, like, mostly dead. Where's the site of sacrifice? Here it is. Okay. And Nahab. Brown Jenkin. Nahab gets all the doom, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And now, of course, the goal is to have no doom on Nahab. When she's defeated, she gets healed, disengaged, and exhausted, and does not ready during the upkeep phase. That's important because when after the enemy phase begins, if she's ready, she grows a doom. Okay. The agenda is 4, so she's fight 5. And she has 5 health, like Brown Jenkin. This is the showdown. Ooh, Nelly. All right, we move in to our certain doom. I'll note, we found 2 of the victory point locations in these. There is a third one of these. Are there 2 more? There might be 2 more. Which is a shame that I'm leaving them on the table, but we're trying to win the scenario. So we've moved in. Nahab engages us. Site of sacrifice. 4 shroud, 3 clues. I can spend an action and a clue to remove a doom from Nahab. Does not provoke attacks of opportunity from Nahab. Location keeps replenishing at the end of the round at 3 clues. Haunted, place a doom on Nahab or she attacks you. Okay. We need to shoot this person in the face. Okay. Racked triggered in the mythos. So we are firing 9 against 5. Let's do it. -3? Is it extra dimensional? It is. That's pass. 4 damage. And now we ready. We ready the Mauser, which triggers an attack of opportunity, which Trench Armor cancels. We use Gavriella's ability to get a clue. And with Alice Luxley, we deal a damage to Nahab. She's defeated. So she heals. She's exhausted, disengaged, and does not ready during the upkeep phase this round. Okay. Okay. Right. Enemy phase. Oh, and also I was readying the Mauser, so it's reloaded. Okay. Okay. Enemy phase. Brown Jenkin wheels my hand. Gonna be haunted. And I'm gonna take a horror. Which will go on Alice. 2 take hearts, machete, and guts. Fine. Upkeep. On the hunt. Mythos. So our 1 + 5 is 6 of 8 doom. We're going to play on the hunt. We're going to search. Oh my God. We're going to search the encounter deck for an enemy to draw. There's still none. So nothing happens. I am pretty sure that is how that works for On the Hunt 3. If there is a disagreement, please let me know in the comments. I am sorely interested, but I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Also, oh, wait a minute. Do I get a clue for defeating Nahab? Yeah, when she is defeated. So I did get an extra clue last round for defeating her. And also, this location replenishes the 3 clues. I think I spend 3 actions and 3 clues to remove 3 doom from this witch. Right? And then she'll ready at the end of the round. But that'll be after when she would have gotten doom. And then I finish it next round. Right? I think that's the play. Brown Jenkins gets to watch. Yeah, we're going to spend 3 actions and 3 clues to remove 3 doom. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Huh. Enemy phase. Brown Jenkins wheels my hand again. Draw 4. Soothing Melody, Alice. Hopefully none of this is going to matter. Upkeep. We upkeep into a dodge. And this time, they have readies and re-engages me. Right? That is, I am doing this right. Yes. Yeah, she readies in the upkeep phase next round. And she only gets a doom if she's ready when the enemy phase begins. Okay, okay. All right, good. Mythos. We're at 2 + 2 is 4 of 8 doom. What's our encounter card? Meddlesome Familiar. So we take a damage and some rats arrive. Sounds good. It's just spent, yeah, okay. We're done. I'm going to spend an action and a clue to remove a doom from Nahab. This does not provoke attacks of opportunity from her. It does from the rats, but the trench armor blocks it. And then we do it again. This time the rats bite, and they can do a damage to Alice Luxley. Why not? But we spent an action and a clue to remove a doom from Nahab. And we advance. Ritual averted. The ancient crone lets out a banshee's wail as you dismantle her unholy ritual. The room unfurls through space-time, the cramped slanted walls unfolding to reveal the oblivion beyond. The creature who was once Keziah Mason croaks a loathsome curse as her shapeless form is pulled into the void. Bit by bit, the wood-paneled flooring below your feet breaks apart. Then you are ripped the pull from the stars, a muddy alleyway, the flute in the woods, the roaring abyss, the gaze of the watcher, the tower, a green hillside, the black vortex, the screams of the accused, the piper, 3 arrows, a sacrifice, a ringing bell, an ascension, and you emerge from the anomaly, crashing painfully onto the floor. Resolution 2. Ha! We did it. Resolution 2. When you come to, you're lying on the wooden floor of Walter Gilman's room. Trappings of Keziah's foul practices are nowhere to be found, nor is the fang-bearded rat. Although I think he's going to follow us the rest of the campaign because of choices. About to rise to your feet, you see something glinting. You crawl under Gilman's bed and find a worn nickel crucifix. Chilly November air, the decrepit witch house. Alrighty. We did it. So, we get 4 experience. 2 from locations and 2 bonus. I would have liked to have gotten more. I'm not going to lie. I would have liked to have had 6 to spend going into scenario 4, but I will take a win on the scenario because these other locations, yeah, these are both victory 1, but they also have problems. You know, test fist or foot, reach point failed by taking damage. This one can allow you to get another location into play for the low price of 2 horror. A toughie. But again, 2 clues, and I did not have time to go anywhere else. I barely got to Nahab in time to stabilize the situation. But thankfully, with a blast from the Mauser and the help of the trench armor and all my other defensive nonsense, once I got going, and Trial by Fire did exactly what I needed it to do. Whew. That was tense and a lot of fun. All right. So we get 4 VP. What else? We get all 3 of these mementos. Gilman's Journal, Keziah's Formula, and Worn Crucifix. Can't type. And then, nope. I could take the black book, and if I do, I add a skull token to the chaos bag. I'm not going to take the black book. My hands are full of anti-tank rifle. Yes, it was nice to have slightly higher willpower for some of those treacheries mid this scenario, but I don't see myself spending 3 resources to get the black book into play. So we're not taking the black book. We move on into the Wages of Sin. Whew. That was wild. And hilariously, my whole Frost token setup never happened. This never got pulled. There were no Elder Sign tokens. The Terra had no effect. 1 auto failed to begin the scenario, and everything else after that was skulls and elder things and various numbers. That's funny. All right. I'm going to pause here and think about what I want to spend 5 victory points on. Options that come to mind: a second I've had worse to round out my 2, and then spend 3. Maybe I'll upgrade the Hollowed Mirror. I could upgrade an Enchanted Blade, but they're really backups. The Hollowed Mirror, I think, is probably a more value pick. Another option I've been thinking about is the Star, the tarot card, to make Alice Luxley 3 and 3 and Guard Dog 4 and 2. I'll have to decide. But this was a blast. All right, pausing here. See ya at the Wages of Sin. All right, and we're back. Time for the Wages of Sin. First, let's talk upgrades. I had 5 points coming into this. I earned 4 in the secret name and had 1 left over. I'm spending 3 to upgrade the Hollowed Mirror, so that the Soothing Melodies will heal 3 instead of 2, or alternately, when I play one, I can just heal 2, but then shuffle it back into my deck. And I'm also spending my other 2 to take a second copy of I've Had Worse Level 2, cancel up to 2 damage and or horror, and gain that many resources. Obviously, I'm dropping the level 0 Hollowed Mirror for its upgrade, and I'm going to drop 1 Machete. I still have a second Machete and 2 Enchanted Blades in the deck. They are backup weapons if I can't find the Mauser. I am guardedly hopeful that I can get by with just 3 backups instead of 4, because they're taking up a chunk of deck space that I think is better served with my various events and other tricks. So we'll see if I live to regret that. Let's get rid of these. Let's shovel these up. And then let's see how many heretics we can tackle. Our tarot card for this one is the Lovers, upright. So when the game begins, I search my deck for an ally asset, add it to my hand, and shuffle the deck. So I'll be able to pull out Alice Luxley guaranteed from the beginning, or if I have Alice Luxley in my opening hand, I can bring out a guard dog. So that's pretty nice. We've got Brown Jenkin in the Meddlesome Familiars, since he's following along this whole campaign. We'll shuffle him into the regular encounter deck. We got the Spectral encounter deck over here. We got the Wages of Sin set up. Let's click the setup. All right, we now have randomized locations. See what we get. Interesting. All right. We start at Hangman's Brook. 4 Shroud, 1 Clue. You can spend an action to resign. And we're going to see how this goes. We have a Doom track of 8 on the first of 2 agendas. Locations cannot be flipped over yet per the act, and we need 3 clues to advance. We got 1 clue here. All locations are revealed. We've got 2 clues and a victory over here in the Haunted Fields. 2 clues and a victory over here in the Abandoned Chapel. All right. Let's look at our opening hand. Well, we're not haunted. Well, we have On the Hunt to lead off with, which is good. We'll throw back the Guts and the Dodge. Do I keep the Flesh Ward and the Emergency Cache? Yeah. Yeah, I think I do. And let's take 2 more. Well, we have a whole bunch of no weapons, so I'm already thinking, did I make a mistake by getting rid of the machete? But we'll make do, right? That's what we do around these parts. Okay. And we can now search the deck for an ally. We're going to pull out Alice Luxley. I don't know why she's in there exhausted. That was a bit weird. All right. It's fine. Okay. Right. Well, first turn. Let's move the lovers out of the way. We will spend 4 to play Alice Luxley. So our book is now 3. And reaction after you discover a clue, exhaust her to deal a damage to an enemy at your location. Fine. And then we will play E-Cash to get 3 resources. And then we will play Flesh Ward. Get some defenses up even if we don't have any weapons yet. Fine. No enemies. We upkeep. Second E-Cash. I'm getting all my economy out of the way at the beginning. Mythos. We'll add a Doom. We're going to play On the Hunt. And I'm going to pull out of the encounter deck my buddy, Brown Jenkin, who spawns Engaged with me. When Brown Jenkin is outside the secret name, he doesn't get the health boost from the agenda. So he's only 1 health, which is relevant for right now. And when I defeat him, I'll gain 3 resources. So we are going to move out of Hangman's Brook. Brown Jenkin's going to attack. He's going to do a damage and a horror. I will exhaust Flesh Ward to cancel the horror. And I'll take 1 damage. I will use Gavriella's ability to discover this clue. I will use Alice's ability to deal a damage to Brown Jenkin, which defeats him. And then I'll gain 3 resources from On the Hunt. And we did that with moving. Are we going to the Haunted Fields or are we going to the Abandoned Chapel? Abandoned Chapel, 2 Shroud, 2 Clues. During the Mythos phase, each investigator here gets -1 each skill. Haunted Fields, 3 Shroud, 2 Clues. Each spectral enemy in Haunted Fields gets +1 horror value. I think we'll go to the Abandoned Chapel. Okay. Now, what do I do with the rest of my turn? I could... If I'd go to investigate, I'm only testing 1 up. But I am 1 up. What's our bag look like? What are skulls? So skulls are -X, where X is higher than the number of copies of unfinished business in the victory display. So until I fully resolve at least 1 heretic, the skulls will be -1. The elder things are -2. So it is a 50-50 shot, essentially, to pick up a clue here. I am not sure that's worth it. I may draw instead. Yeah, let's draw a card. The Hollowed Mirror. We'll play that. Get our soothing melodies going. We get a soothing melody into hand, and we shuffle the others into the deck. That's fine. All right. Good. No enemies. We upkeep. Upkeep into... Well, there's a weapon. It would have been nice to have gotten an upgraded enchanted play by the time of this scenario, but you know what? We'll make do with this. It is a stopgap until we find the Mauser. Fine. Mythos, we're 2 of 8 Doom. We are drawing from the regular encounter deck since nothing is spectral yet. What do we got? Diabolic Voices. Well, Test Brain 3. For each point you fail by, discard a random card from your hand. For each card you can't discard, take a horror or a damage. +1 difficulty for each copy in the discard pile. There are no copies in the discard pile, but in the Mythos phase, we have -1, so I am testing 2 against 3. We'll throw Guts at this, so we're testing 4 on 3. Yeah, 4 and 3. -1. Pass exactly, and we draw a card from Guts. Which is the Mauser? Let's go, as they say. All right, maybe I don't need this enchanted blade after all. Good. Am I just playing it? Maybe. Okay, so... I'm thinking about committing the Soothing Melody to do an investigate so that I can test 4 on 2 and cover most of the bag. And I think I might do exactly that. Okay, so we will spend 4 to play the Mauser. Nope, that didn't work. Let's try that again. I like to, there we go. Have it clearly covering both hand slots. I know it's not really an ammo, it's a shell, but I like that. And let's play this other e-cache, so we're not sitting with no resources. And let's investigate. I'll commit this Soothing Melody, so we're testing 4 against 2. -2, we get a clue. Okay, sounds good. No enemies, we upkeep. Steadfast. Okay. Doom, we're at 3 of 8 Doom. What do we get? Brown Jenkins is back, and I take a damage. Sounds good. Take a damage. Brown Jenkins. Right. Okay. Okay. So, I could engage him, move, eat the attack. Probably I've had worse at, right? There's not that much reason not to. Use Alice to defeat him, get the clue, and then I can advance the act. There's really not anything else for me to play. The only thing I'm thinking about is that I could potentially... Well, I don't have another book commit, so investigating is not in the sweet spot here. What do I do with the rest of my turn? Well, one action, really, right? Engage, move, trigger all of that, then get the heretics in play. I won't yet have a clue to parlay them, is the thing. But I could get one. I could get one in the following turn. Yeah, let's do this. I might draw a card first. Yeah, we're going to draw a card first. Guard dog. Good. We can play that next turn. Second action, we'll engage Brown Jenkin. Third action, we will move. Brown Jenkin attacks. I'll play I've Had Worse to cancel it and get 2 resources. Use Gavriella's ability to get this clue. Use Alice's ability to deal a damage to Brown Jenkin, which defeats him. And then we scoot over... I guess we'll go to the crypt. Sure. Okay. Okay. Do I advance before the turn ends, or am I better served by advancing advancing next round? It's going to place the heretics. It's going to slam clues onto the board. I'll need to start flipping locations to spectral to be able to discover clues. I don't think it matters. We'll just move on. We'll advance next round. Okay, no enemies on the board. We upkeep. An act of desperation. And if things get, well, I can yeet the enchanted blade at somebody if I need to in a pinch, if my Mauser is not ready for whatever reason. Okay. 4 of 8 Doom. What do we get? Another day older, deeper in debt. Covenant Initiate. 2 Shroud, 2 fight, 2 Shroud, what am I saying? 2 of everything. Fight, evade, and health. Heals 1 horror. Discard the top 2 cards of the encounter deck. If this makes the encounter deck run out of cards, it won't. We're going to discard a Meddlesome Familiar and a Priestess of the Coven. Alright, good to see her discarded. Okay. So, fine. Alright, let's advance the act. And 3 clues. Spawn a heretic at each of these 4 locations. Add clues to the other locations. If you have 3 or more mementos listed under mementos discovered, which we do, we've got 5, then I get the spectral web asset, which is good. Grab me one of those. Put the others back. Spectral web spell doesn't take an asset slot. Spend an action and 1 to 3 clues. Do a fight. Can only attack a Geist enemy. I can choose to use willpower instead of combat. Get +X skill value and +X damage, where X is the number of clues spent. I will probably not be using this on heretics, since the heretics have 4 health and in solo playing, and the Mauser is perfect for them. But it is very much likely going to be my means of dealing with wraiths, malevolent spirits. So that's what I'm probably going to be mainly using clues for. But let's click the Set Up Heretics button. Spawn clues and heretics. There we go. So now there's 2 clues on each of the outer locations. An extra clue has been added to each of the victory locations. So there's 1 here and 3 here. And we got these heretics. They don't yes, fight 4, 2 + 2 per player health. So in solo play, 4 health, 3 of 8. Monster Geist Witch Spectral Elite. When at a non-spectral location, it gains aloof and cannot be engaged or damaged. Lightning Bolt, spend 1 clue to parlay to look at its other side without resolving it. Once it's defeated, flip it over and resolve the text on the other side. Okay. All right. Now, also, I can now Lightning Bolt flip your location over. Group limit once per round at each location. So I can flip multiple locations in the single round. I just can't flip the same location twice in the same round. I cannot discover clues at non-spectral locations. So I need to flip them to the spectral side to be able to get clues there. And then banish as many heretics as you can. If there are 4 unfinished businesses in the victory display advance, the likelihood of that, not very high. Right. And this location, Chapel Crypt. Well, I need to flip it to get clues here. All right. So what am I doing? So if I flip, let's think this through. I'd like to play Guard Dog. That will, of course, trigger an attack of opportunity. Do I? I mean, while it's all well and good to use the clues to parlay with these heretics, it's almost simpler for me to just shoot the heretic. I could flip the location and the heretic will engage me. I could shoot it with the Mauser, which will defeat it, and then we deal with whatever's on the back. Then I could play Guard Dog. I will take an attack of opportunity from the Covenant Initiate, which I could cancel with Flesh Ward. And then I could do another thing to trigger another attack of opportunity from the Covenant Initiate. No. Okay, that won't kill it. I could punch her. No, I'd want to, because she doesn't do damage. That's the one thing. Because she doesn't do damage, I can't, have Guard Dog hit her. Alice Locksley will do a damage to her. I could flip the location. Punch her. Flip the location. Shoot the heretic. Then this is emptied. Flip the location. Shoot the heretic. I guess I could flip the location, punch her once, and then ready the Mauser, and then she'll attack. I'll cancel it with Flesh Ward. I'll get a clue. Alice will then defeat her. I just won't yet have Guard Dog on the table, but I will have a readied gun. 4 on 2, I'd be punching. I could also, I could Act of Desperation the Enchanted Blade into her face. But no, I don't need to do 2 damage in a single attack since I'm going to do 1 damage back to her with Alice. So punch should be fine. What does the Elder Thing do if you fail? Okay. Yeah. All right. We're going to do that. So we're going to flip this location to Spectral. So it's 6 Shroud. But when there are no Hex Treacheries in my threat area, it's -3. So it's right now 3 Shroud. Not that that is really a thing that matters. Heretic engages. We're going to first shoot the Heretic with the Mauser. Mauser gives me +5 combat. Deals +3 damage. So I am swinging 9 against 4. That's a bad auto fail. Oh my goodness. All right. It's fine. We have other means of salvaging that. It doesn't have heretic. It doesn't have retaliate. Does it damage and a horror when it attacks? Okay. What I'm thinking about is now using Act of Desperation and Enchanted Blade to defeat the Initiate. And then moving. Because when I move... Now, when I move to a non-spectral location, heretics cannot be engaged at non-spectral locations. So it will attack as I move out, which I can use to get a clue. But then it'll disengage. Like if I move to the abandoned chapel, or even if I move to the chapel attic, actually. And that way it won't pummel me again in the enemy phase. I think it does mean that this will be unloaded, which is a problem for future me. But yeah, I think that's what we are. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to play Act of Desperation. We will discard this Enchanted Blade, since you can discard from your hand or your play area. I won't get resources, but I will get... I will be swinging at 7 against 2, and I'll deal 2 damage. Okay. So the Covenant Initiate's defeated. Now I'm going to move. Heretic attacks does a damage and a horror. We will cancel the horror with Flesh Ward. We'll take a damage. We'll use Gavriella's ability. We'll discover a clue. We might as well use Alice Luxley to deal a damage to it. I don't know how relevant that's going to be. But we'll move back to the abandoned chapel. And when we get here, the heretic has to disengage because the location is not spectral. All right. Fine. Not great, but not the end of the world. All right. No enemies that do anything. We upkeep into Alice Luxley's twin sister, Alice Luxley. We're at 5 of 8 Doom. What's our encounter card? Again, we're still drawing from the regular encounter deck since our location is not spectral. Sentries of Secrets. His Brain 5. For each point you fail by, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If a curse is discarded, deal 1 direct damage to your investigator and each of your ally assets. That's... I mean, we have spare Alice Luxley. I don't think it's worth steadfasting this. I think we just eat it. So we're 3 on 5. This is not an attack or evasion attempt, so I don't have to resolve anything haunted. But I do fail by 4. So what discards? Omen, curse, so it hits. Correct, and that. Okay, so damage. The damage is looking spooky. Fine. So let's spend a clue and parlay. We can do that even while it's aloof. What does this heretic want? Dang it. Well, all right. So it makes an immediate attack, which is not... no, I wanted to flip this to Spectral first. I forgot to do that. Because I did want to get this clue. I was thinking to move out afterwards, but I don't need to now because it's making an attack. Makes an immediate attack, damage, and a horror. But this is the one you have to kill twice, which we can do. It will be a little awkward. All right. But it does make an immediate attack. I didn't flip it beforehand. I'm not going to... That was an error. I should have flipped it before I parlayed. I'm just going to eat that. It's fine. Damage and a horror. I'm actually going to... No, I will keep canceling. I do have the guard dog who can, as soon as I play him, which is going to be now, can take some damage. I'm thinking about whether to use Flesh Ward to block a damage. Am I going to be attacked again by this turn? I think the rest of my turn is going to be to ready the Mauser. Guard dog, Alice. When I defeat it, it's going to attack me again. I'm not sure what's best. I am going to use Flesh Ward to cancel a damage, and I'll put a horror on Alice. All right. I should have flipped this first. That was an error of mine. All right, what am I doing about this? When I defeat it once, it'll make an attack. Then I need to defeat it again. In order to defeat it twice in the same round, I need to weaken it with other attacks, and then finish it off the second time with the Mauser. I think I definitely want to play Guard Dog, so let's do that. First action. If I flip this location, it re-engages. I could then move and that's a lot of attacks that I'm eating. Maybe I draw a card first. Maybe I draw a card. If I draw a card, if I flip at the end of the round, it will attack again in the enemy phase. Damage and a horror. I could put one on Guard Dog, so it'll do a damage back. I could... let me see something here. Sorry about that. Had to step away just for a moment. Right. We're at 5 of 8 Doom. Once this ticks over, whoa. I'm just pressing the wrong buttons. Don't ask me. I don't know what's happening anymore. Once this ticks over, all locations will become spectral, and they're going to stay that way. Do I ready the Mauser? Do I draw a card? Do I ready the Mauser? Do I flip this back to spectral so that it re-engages, so that it will attack, and I get this clue, and I deal 2 damage back to it, 1 from the Guard Dog, 1 from Alice Luxley. Then or I could flip this. I could punch it once by committing Steadfast. 6 on 4. Odds are good. Now, ready the Mauser. Flip it, punch it once. That'll do 1 damage. Then, when it attacks, do a damage and a horror. I'll do a damage back with Guard Dog. What is the timing? Alice after I discover a clue. Okay, right. Damage back with Guard Dog. I can use Alice to discover the clue. Do a damage back. That'll be enough to defeat it. Then it'll flip. It'll attack one more time, which I could use to defeat Alice because I have Alice number 2 waiting in the wings. Then next turn, I could shoot it with the Mauser, defeat it, play second Alice, and restabilize that way. I think maybe that's the play. So let's do exactly that. We're going to ready the Mauser, or rather, we're going to reload the Mauser by exhausting it, the exact opposite of readying it. Then, hello. Then we're going to flip this location to Spectral. We still have -1. -1 to each skill. I forgot about that. When I did Centuries of Secrets, I actually failed by 5. So 1 more card should have been discarded. It doesn't change the fact that I took damage and horror, but it does mean that this Vengeful Witch was discarded. Almost forgot about that. Right. What was I doing? Punching this heretic. Committing Steadfast. It only gives me 2 fist, since I have 8 total remaining health and sanity, but that gets me 6 on 4. Hopefully that is enough for a solid punch. Sure wasn't. Oop, oop, oop. All right. That's unfortunate. Well, now the enemy phase. Heretic attacks. We'll put a damage on the guard dog. Damage back to the heretic. Horror goes on Gavriella. We will use Gavriella's ability to get this clue. We'll use Alice Luxie to deal a damage back. All right. I still think it was the right play, but sometimes the odds are not in your favor. We upkeep into a Take Heart. Okay. We're at 6 of 8 Doom. What's our encounter card? Another Coven Initiate. That's not really what I wanted right now. All right. So I could flip this back. Oh, no, excuse me. I don't get a Covenant Initiate. Ugh, the location, I'm making mistakes all over the place. The location is Spectral. So I draw from the Spectral encounter deck. So what's my Spectral encounter deck card? It's the Fate of All Fools. All right. I mean, that feels on par with how this is going. All right. Okay. I could move to trigger another attack. Damage on guard dog defeats it. Oh yeah, absorb it, cancel the horror with Flesh Ward. Then when it makes its bonus attack, I could just discard the empty Flesh Ward to it. Then I could Mauser. I would need to move to... The only thing that I'm not getting then is a clue. Because the attack and Gavriella's ability, that'll all happen before the move actually triggers. Which means I'm not getting a clue this round, which is not great. I'm trying to remember what the haunted effect here is. No, I'm not. I was thinking about investigating and throwing Take Heart into it. But I don't think I'm going to be doing that because it's going to be do something that triggers an attack by this bozo. Do I draw a card? Do I do it by drawing a card? Instead of moving. But then I'm not at a location with clues. I would like this victory point. No, I think it's move, eat the attacks, Mauser it, ready the Mauser. All right, so we're going to move. Does it damage and a horror? Damage on guard dog, we cancel the horror with flesh ward. Can't use Gavriella's ability. There's no clue here, but the guard dog does damage. So, flip this card back to its enemy side. It makes an immediate attack. The next time it is defeated, it is banished. So, damage and a horror, discards flesh ward. And we moved to here. Which means it disengages. But I want it to re-engage, so we're going to flip this. And it re-engages. Now we're going to shoot it with the Mauser. As before, 9 on 4. There we go. 4 damage. It is banished. We got at least 1. And now we will reload. Okay. We got 1. And we got it before the agenda flip. I mean, we're pretty banged up, but you know what? I'll take it. No enemies that do anything. We upkeep in 2. And I've had worse. I have had worse. You know, I have had worse. Mythos, we're at 7 of 8 doom. Our location is spectral. Yes? Yes. That's interesting. That could be actually useful. But our location is spectral, so we draw from the spectral encounter deck. And after this turn, everything's going to be spectral. So I'm just going to move the regular encounter deck and regular encounter discard out of the way and put the spectral in its place. What do we get? Terror in the Night. There's Brain 4. If you fail, put it in play next to the agenda deck. If you fail by 3 or more, gain Surge. If there are 3 next to the agenda deck, discard them and we take 3 horror. We're going to throw Take Heart into this. So we're testing 3 against 4. That's -2. So we do fail by 3. So it does gain Surge, but I also draw 2 cards and get 2 resources. Okay. All right. Put that here. And surges into Fate of All Fools. Oh, this is actually a whiff. I can put a Doom on my copy of Fate of All Fools. But because this doesn't say this can cause the agenda to advance, it is the Witching Hour, so that Doom actually does nothing. I'll take it. All right. We need to stabilize, which means I want to draw. What I love is trench armor. We're going to draw a card. Soothing Melody. We will play Soothing Melody. Do we heal 3 and draw, or do we heal 2 and draw and shuffle it back in? And what do we heal? Because I am still looking for some key pieces of my kit, specifically trench armor, then I think I'll heal 3. And I think I will heal a damage from Alice, a damage from Guard Dog, and a horror. Nah, if... No, I'm going to heal 3 damage so that I have more guard dog uses. Which might be a mistake, but we'll see. Hold on one moment. Sorry about that. All right. We're going to heal 2 damage from guard dog. The reason to heal the damage from... Well, actually, I was going to say the reason to heal the damage from Alice is to guard against the direct damage from Centuries of Secrets. But we're never going to draw Centuries of Secrets again because the rest of the game is going to be played with the Spectral deck. So I'm going to heal a horror from Alice. I'm leaving a horror on Gavriella just in case I pull an Elder Sign, which can heal both a damage and a horror from Gavriella. All right, and now we draw a card. Trial by Fire. That is good to have in my back pocket. And then I'm going to spend 3 to play the Tennessee Sour Mash to get a modicum of Mythos protection, or at least mitigation. Okay. All right. No enemies that do anything. We upkeep. All right, we're ready for all the firing trials. This advances. I don't know why we just got an error on that, but attempt to index a null value. I'm gonna have to figure that out later. But this doom goes away, and we advance. And all locations flip to Spectral. The Spectral Watcher spawns at Hangman's Brook, and we shuffle the Watcher encounter set into the Spectral encounter deck along with the Spectral discard pile. Okay? The Watcher. Watcher spawns here. These shuffle in. Now we have 7 turns. We have 7 doom on the second agenda. We already have 1 heretic. So, you know, that's good. I'd love to get another. Let's see if we can do that. Encounter card. Shapes in the Mist. Resolve each haunted ability on your location and then search. So the haunted ability here is move the nearest spectral enemy once toward haunted fields. That could be the Watcher, or it could be a heretic. I think it's a heretic. Oh, I have to flip everything. Spectral, right, yes. God, that's only 1 shroud to get that clue. And spectral. Okay. Yeah, that's some art, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's a heretic. I'm thinking about a way to get clues now is to slam down Trial of Fire, pump my book to now 8 with Alice's help, and just spam investigates. So where would I... Let's see, that discard, that heals each heretic in each way. Do I care? I don't think I care that much. Let's do this one. Moves in, engages. But then that surges into Burdens of the Past. There are no copies of Unfinished Business in my thread area, so this surges into Burdens of the Past, which surges into... It is a little spooky. Second Terror of the Night, huh? I I don't want this to surge. Also, the skulls are now -2. I'm testing 3 against 4. I am going to use some Tennessee Sour Mash so that I'm testing 5 on 4. We pass. Good. That was good. All right. What am I doing with my life? Am I spending a clue to parlay this heretic? Probably, yeah. Yeah, let's spend its clue. Let's see what it wants. It wants the gallows to be empty and test brain or foot 4. Man, I moved it out of the gallows. I want to bring it back there. But okay. What was it? Brain or foot? Okay. I could Mauser it. Move to the gallows. Next turn, I could trial by fire, pick up the clues from the gallows, and attempt the test. What is the gallows shroud? 3 while this is flipped. So I could trial by fire and set all my stats to 5. I'd then be testing 6 on 3 to investigate, and then I'd be testing 5 on this test, and I could commit. I could commit a dodge. Be 6 on 4. The question is, do I shoot it, reload, then move? Or do I move to get the attack of opportunity so that I can pick up one of these clues? Like, I could dodge the attack, but I might need this as a commit, right? I might need this. I may need this as a commit next turn for the difficult test. I've had worse. Maybe that's what I do. I use the cancels that I have. I could put it on Alice. I could take the horror and the damage on Gavriella. I could put it on Alice. I just need to be careful about Fate of All Fools, because that's going to be 2 damage or I lose a turn. But I've had worse. All right. I'm going to move to trigger an attack of opportunity. We'll put a horror on Alice and damage on Gavriella. We'll use Gavriella's ability to get one of these clues on the victory point location. I mean, we might as well use Alice to deal a damage to it. Hopefully it won't matter. But we move up to the gallows. Now we shoot it. 9 against 4. Skulls -2, so we pass. It is defeated. Okay. I will need to take another damage. Okay, that's fine. But last action, we reload. And then hopefully next turn, trial by fire will get me through this. Okay. When does the damage happen? At the end of the round. So enemies. Spectral Watcher glides over here. Upkeep. We upkeep into a second bottle of alcohol. We take a damage from this. Spooky, but I still have tricks. Still got tricks up my sleeve. This isn't a treachery card, so I can't use the Tennessee Sour Mash to boost my test. I might commit this to the test instead of the dodge. Maybe. Right. We're at 1 of 7 Doom. Next turn. What do we get? Malevolent Spirit. Fine. Like, this is an issue for future me because it spawns on the other side of the map. Chapel Attic or Chapel Crypt. We'll put it in the crypt. Okay, good. I can do the plan. We're going to spend 2 on Trial by Fire. We're going to set all of our stats to 5, which means with Alice, our book is 6. And we're going to investigate. Oh, it's now Shroud 4, though, because this is also a Geist. 6 on 4. Do I mean, it is most of the bag. I'm wondering whether I instead set my book to 8. But then I don't have a way to pass this test. No, we're going to try it. Oh, wait, hold on. What's the haunted effect? That's pretty bad. Because there's 3 more enemies in this deck. I could play both Trials of Fire. I could set my book to 8 and my brain to 7. I have plenty of resources. But if I do that, then... Oh, man. It's tough, right? Like, the odds are that I will succeed on those investigates. But if I fail, I am likely to get another enemy. And does a spawn engage with you? No. So if it's this guy... That'll show up on the opposite end of the map also, although then they're going to stack, because that's a thing. Ooh. It is entirely possible that we end with just 2 heretics. I'm going to... it's tough. I'm going to try to go for the sure thing. I'm going to play my second Trial by Fire. So I'm going to set my willpower to 7 and my book to 7 base, so 8. Combat down to 4, agility down to 1. Actually, I'm going to set my agility to 7. just in case something goes horribly wrong and I need to do some kind of evade. All right, this is really bizarre. All right. It doesn't have any sort of limit. No, I could do that. All right, now we're investigating. Finally, 8 against 4. 0's a pass. We get a clue. We're going to do that again. 8 on 4. Skulls -2. We could have done it with 6. I probably should have done it that way. But I was scared. What can I say? And now we're going to do this agility test. 7 on 4. Let's do it. Skulls -2. Banished. All right, we got 2. We got 2. All right, the Watcher moves in and hecks me up. Damage and a horror. I will put a damage on Guard Dog and put 1 back on the Watcher and a horror on Gavriella. I could have used dodge, but I wanted to put 1 damage on it so that then I can Mauser it and defeat it and turn it off next round. Upkeep. We're haunted. That's not good. Okay, Mythos. 2 of 7 doom. Fate of all fools. 2 direct damage or a doom. We're gonna play I've had worse. We're gonna cancel that 2 damage and get 2 resources instead. Okay. Reset my stats. And drop them all by 1 because we're haunted. We're going to shoot the Watcher. We are swinging at 8 against 3. Come on. +1. We pass by a ton. Watcher is defeated. So it gets healed, disengages, and super exhausts. Exhaustion is frozen for a turn. Like, while part of me really wants to spend 2 action, get rid of Haunted, it's probably more important to reload my gun. So we're going to do that. Oh, I forgot. This guy moves. Almost forgot this guy moved last turn. So this guy has 2 fight, 2 health, 4 evade. Since everywhere is spectral, he does a damage and 2 horror. And this is the perfect target for defeating with the spectral web, yeah? I could move to the haunted fields with my 3rd action. He'll move in and hit me. I can use dodge. And I can use Gavriella's ability to get a clue and do a damage back to him. I think that's the play. I don't know if it's reasonable to get a 3rd heretic. I at least want the victory point here, which means I want these clues. So yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to move down to the haunted fields. Okay. Enemy phase. This guy moves in. I will play dodge to cancel his attack. I will use Gavriella's ability to get a clue. What? There we go. I'll use Alice to deal the damage back to him. Okay. All right. Upkeep. We upkeep into another dodge. That is actually perfect. I can do the same thing this round. The Watcher is just regular exhausted now, which is good. Okay. 3 of 7 doom. What's our encounter card? Another malevolent spirit also spawns across the map. Fine. Okay, what's the play? I could get rid of Haunted, use dodge to cancel the attack of opportunity, use Alice to defeat it. Now, if I do that, it will be healed and exhausted, and I could move it across the map. So it wouldn't be permanently defeated. I could permanently defeat it by using Spectral Web. But then I'm not getting the last clue here. Unless I trigger an attack of opportunity by other means, and then, like, not use Alice to kill him? Since he'll be exhausted, he won't stack up with this spirit, because he'll move a turn behind it. I think we do the sure thing and just push this problem off for another day. So I'm going to spend 2 actions to get rid of Haunted. This triggers an attack of opportunity. We play dodge to cancel it. We use Gavriella's ability. We get this last clue. We use Alice. We deal a damage. It is defeated, gets healed, exhausted, and moved to a spectral location. We'll put it across the map. Okay. And Haunted is discarded. My stats are back up. One more action. I'm tempted to draw a card. Like, the reasonableness of this guy depends on what it wants. Like, really, if this heretic, I guess I have a 50-50 shot of this one being reasonable. If this heretic is parlay it twice, done. If this heretic is bring it to this location, I probably could reasonably finagle that before needing to resign. If it needs to be dragged over to one of these locations, not happening. And getting 4 was never truly in the cards. I don't think. So, but I don't want to move in and take an attack at the end of the round when I'm not getting paid for it with a clue. I could play the second Tennessee Sour Mash, but I think it's more important that I get, like, a second Flesh Ward, or the Trench Armor, or my last Soothing Melody. I'm going to draw a card. Flesh Ward. Sounds good. All right. Enemies. This guy moves here. That's the only ready one who hunts. Upkeep. Machete. Well, that's not helpful. That's fine. The Watcher readies. This spirit readies. Oop. There we go. Okay. Playing with fire, we're at 4 of 7 doom. What is our encounter card? Bane of the Living. Well, there is no unfinished business card in play, so I have to discard cards until a Geist is discarded and spawn it engage with me. That's going to be a Wraith. This Wraith. Fight 2, health 2, evade 2. When defeated by damage except from a spell or relic, instead of discarding it, attach it to its location, and spawning it becomes an added haunted effect. 2 horror. I think I Spectral Web this bozo. Do I call it here? Let's think this through. If I, If I Spectral Web this, we should probably do that first, because whatever I'm doing, that's part of the deal. So we will spend 1 clue and use Fist, so we're swinging 5 against 2. That's an auto fail. Oh my goodness. Does not have Retaliate. Well, I guess this kind of answers my question for me as to what I'm doing with my life. Trying to kill this thing. Let's do that again. 5 on 2. There we go. All right, it's defeated. And straight up defeated since this is a spell. I think I play Flesh Ward. No, wait a minute. No, this is a bad place to get attacked by both the Watcher and this spirit. Because that would be a total of 2 damage and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 horror incoming. I could probably just straight up kill me. Yeah, it would. So I gotta move. Like, I could move to Heretic's Graves. I will eat the attack for the Malevolent Spirit, but I could resign next round. I really would have liked to have an opportunity to get a 3rd Heretic. But this is a coin flip, whether it's helpful. And if I move here now, I can't stay here. I'll get annihilated. If I move here now, then both it and the Watcher will attack me. Get one of these clues. But that's 2 damage and 2 horror. What does that look like for my board state? Bad is what it looks like. Damage and horror from 1 attack, from the Watcher, I guess, and I could guard dog back at it. The other attack would have to defeat Alice. And then I'd be sitting here with 6 damage and 3 horror, and an almost tapped out guard dog, going into next round with both the Watcher and the Heretic engaged with me. Sure, I could Mauser 1, but I could Mauser 1. And if this Heretic is not parlay it twice, well, I do have Spectral Web. Oh, could I? Let's think. This is risky. I shouldn't do this. Let me just think out the math. I could Mauser. Honestly, I'd be better off Mausering the Heretic because it's got higher fight. Oh, but if it's the parlay one, then I don't need to defeat it at all. You parlay it twice. If it's not... Oh, man. But then I've also got the Malevolent Spirits bearing down on me. I said they were a problem for future me. Future me has arrived. Because what would next round be? I could, assuming worst case, assume it's not the parlay one, and I would need to defeat it to get it off my back. To get off my back, I then need to eat the unfinished business. No, there's a... No. No, we're going to cut our losses. They're just... We're moving to Hangman's Brook. We got 2, and we're going to have to be comfortable with 2. That's fine. All right. Enemies. Watcher moves. Malevolent Spirit moves in and hits me for a damage and 2 horror. I have to lose an ally here. I guess Alice Luxley has done her job. We're about to resign, so... Because I don't really need to guard dog back. And I don't think there's anything that does direct horror. So, Alice goes, and Gavriella takes a horror. This Malevolent Spirit moves here. This place is full of ghosts. Last turn upkeep. Soothing Melody. I mean, that would have been nice earlier. 5 of 7 Doom. What's our encounter card? Bane of the Living, We get another Geist. It's a good thing I didn't press my luck, because this, like, spawning an... I would have been engaged with this Wraith, the Watcher, and this Heretic. Utter devastation and chaos. Instead, we're going to spend an action to resign. We're out. We got 2 Heretics, which for true solo, I feel like is pretty good. Curious which one this was. It was not the parlay one, and it was one that needed to be dragged across the map. So, good. Vindicated. What did this one want? Oh, this is the double parlay. That would have been feasible? Feasible, but I would have needed to spend a total of 3 clues. I could have tried it. But the way everything was going over here, if I had done that, then I probably wouldn't have had time to, like, finish out and get this victory point. So it's kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other. That's fine. Look, true solo, like I said, getting 2 I'm quite comfortable with. But anyway, we resigned. So let's... Why is that like that? Let's look at our resolution. Okay. No resolution was reached because we resigned. Resolution 1. Rays of faded sunlight stream through the haze, and the unnatural mist finally recedes because Hangman's Hill is an awful, awful place. So, 2 heretics were unleashed onto Arkham. So I get the Wisp of Spectral Mist, and I get victory 4. 1 for each of these, and 1 for each of these locations. Okay. 2 heretics were unleashed onto Arkham. I want it to be in one line. We'll remove were unleashed. Okay. I didn't bring this down to 0, but now I bring it up to 4. I have 4 points to spend, going into for the greater good. And I get the Wisp of Spectral Mist. Good. There is one more memento you can get if you manage to get all 4 heretics, a tall order. I'm very curious whether anybody in true solo has managed that feat. There's just a lot of moving around. I guess a deck really kitted out for that movement. Like a really powerful Seeker deck could potentially do it. But I'm happy with 6 of the 7 available mementos. All right, good. Well, Gavriella's story is still against maybe all odds continuing. Join me next time when, once I have time, it'll be another double feature. I'll do For the Greater Good, and then followed by Union and Dissolution. And we'll see if those trials by fire will help us pass the odd circle test. Thanks very much for watching. Till next time, take care, everyone.